Well, good morning, folks. Welcome back to the farm. I'm in the kitchen here this morning. It's been just chaos the last couple of days. No internet. We've been down at the cabin. We've been trying to put windows in. I got to go back out to the cabin to pick up one kid this morning because she had a sleepover out there last night. So I just chucked a chicken, a homegrown chicken, in the slow cooker. And I was like, I don't even know what to season this thing with. So open up the pantry, open up the fridge, scratch my head. Seen there was a half-eaten jar of blueberry jam in there, homemade blueberry jam. It was a little bit runny, wasn't really good for jam. It was more like somewhere between a jam and a syrup. So I just coated the chicken in that, blueberry chicken with a little bit of seasoning salt, and I shoved a whole onion inside the cavity of that chicken. And we'll put it on a slow cooker. We'll come back in 8 hours. Maybe it'll taste like hell, I don't know, but we'll see. Speaking of thick, like syrup, yeah, the air is thick like syrup today. Some big fires burning up in Northwest Territories have shrouded us in smoke. And we've been the last 4 or 5 days, it's been on the top side of 30 degrees Celsius. This morning it's actually cold. I'm not sure, I didn't look at the thermometer, but I would say it's hovering around like less than 10 degrees for sure. And you can see my pile of junk here that I've got to solve. The blue truck. The sheep were out last night, and I might have slammed that into gear and out of gear real hard and raced around a field a few times until I blew the shifter cable off of the side of the transmission. Smart. And then the wife went to go to work this morning, and the Volkswagen, she left the key on, so it's got a dead battery. I don't know what it is about this little Volkswagen. It's not that the key is turned on, but if the key gets left in the ignition, for some reason, the ignition sequence, it stays live and will kill the battery. So every time you shut the car off, you have to physically remove the key, and you can hear it. It goes beep, 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 and everything shuts down, and you're grand. But if you don't do that, it doesn't. The radio stays live, and probably something else that has a draw on it. And I have never been able to figure out what it is, like why it does that. So I'm gonna go get a DeWalt battery, and I'm gonna get this thing boosted here. Just gotta open the big garage door here, check on the Starlink cable because it runs across the building. It sneaks through right there, but it doesn't look like it's damaged. So wondering if, I thought maybe a cable was the problem, why we're not connecting here, but it might be the modem too. I've cycled the power a bunch of times. It's lit up, but it's quite warm. I don't know, I never really felt it before to see if it was supposed to be warm. I just assume like electronics are warm, but maybe that's too, I don't know. We might be hitting the old hard reset button in there with a safety pin later on. Well, if there's one thing around here you can bank on, that's change plans, and that's what we're gonna do, is we're gonna change the plans. I just ran out to Rio Grande and picked up Charlotte from her sleep over at the cabin, and then passed the father-in-law on the road, and he even waved, and then he called right away and he's like, I think we're gonna come and get the cows this morning. We'll get them out of the pasture. He's like, you're at home, right? You just passed me on the road. So, no, I'm not at home, but I'll be right there. So got a pair of boots on. We'll go down, we'll round up some cows, get them into a trailer, and get the pasture all cleaned up. Maybe it can recover and stand a chance next year. Everybody's going to the corrals, and there's got to be one hiding out in the bushes over here. Going the wrong direction. High stepping too. What an idiot. I think she got around behind me. She's going around over there. In the open field here now. Is the guy fit? Yeah, she's full on running there now. There goes the first load. I'm about to crawl underneath this old blue bugger one more time. As always, chock your wheels. Transmission cable popped off last night when I was doing some stuff like this. I was chasing some sheep around the field, and I just replaced that transmission cable earlier this year. I actually blew, while I was trying to replace it, I blew the grommet out of it and snapped the cable end right off. I had to replace the whole cable. That was more frustration than it needed to be. But anyways, I might have actually done the install wrong. I might have installed it backwards. The little grommet, I might have put it on the wrong side. I'm gonna crawl underneath there, take a closer look. I sure hope I didn't do it wrong. I sure hope it's a faulty part, because if I did do it wrong, there's like 12,000 people have watched that video already. So I might be giving some bad advice on the internet. I've been known to do that a few times before, but good advice. Jock your wheels before you climb under your truck. I crawled under here last night, and I'm a skinny fat guy, right? Skinny on the top, rounder than I should be in the middle. And that's right around the area that you got to get right up underneath that running board to reach that shifter linkage. And you got to make sure your cell phone's within reach, because you get wedged under there. The wife was going to bed, like she was already in her pajamas. So if I would have been wedged underneath there, I would have laid there till morning when she realized I didn't come to bed. Pop this little grommet out here. Now this one's squishy and soft. The other one was hard and brittle, and I assumed that maybe it got a little bit too brittle and cracked. But I think this one might be the opposite problem. It might be too squishy, too much tolerance in it. But I got a kit off of Amazon. I think I put it in the tickle trunk here somewhere. I'm gonna go have a look, see if I can find it. I might have a couple of these in there that would come real close and be a little bit harder material. All right, well, desperate times call for desperate measures here. I can get that grommet over that little shaft. I can just get it popped over just enough. Like, it seems like it catches, but that material is so soft, I can't get it to stay there. And that other one that I had sitting in the glove box, it's so gosh darn stiff that I can't even get it into the actual end of the cable. Like, this is not gonna happen. So because there's enough sticks out, what I did is I just took one of these tiny little drill bits. These are only good for really two things. What I just did, and then when you smash your hand with a hammer real bad and turn your fingernail purple, you can just work this back and forth on top of your fingernail to drill a hole in your fingernail and let the blood out. I haven't had to do that in several years, but let me tell you, the only thing that hurts worse than smashing your hand with a fingernail or with a hammer is putting one of these through your fingernail. But the relief you feel after, it's well worth it. Anyways, I drilled a little hole in that nub, and I'm gonna put a key ring on there. And that's gonna act as a cotter pin. I don't have a cotter pin that's that size. It's real small, so I'm just gonna use a key ring. And there's no downside to this. The only thing, if it comes off, I just get 5 neutrals again, right? So I'm not gonna get in some horrific fiery car crash or anything like that. I'm just gonna, one day, if it falls off, we're back to neutral, back to square one. Big deal, right? So that, I feel pretty comfortable with that modification, that field modification, the re-engineering of General Motors product. Because why would they build it right the first time? Why would they build their parts to fit? Just why, right? Anyways, that's what we're gonna try. You can kind of see this is where I gotta be right here. This little white grommet. So I drilled a hole right there. And that's what I'm gonna try to get my key ring into. I shouldn't have been chewing my fingernails the other day, because that's going to make it hard to get that key ring opened up. Maybe you guys got a thumbnail left to do that. There. Now it can't come off. How do you like me now, General Motors? Built it right the first time and I wouldn't have to do sketchy shit like that. Alright, let's see if it worked. Moment of truth. Hey, there's reverse. That's a good start. Looks like we got drive. Well, I'm sure nobody from General Motors is going to call me right up and say, hey, we owe you a pinky ring and a job in engineering. But I'm going to call that one fixed for the second time. Technically third, because the first time I tried to fix it, I broke the parts that I ordered. And then I fixed it right the second time. And then I fixed it more right the third time here. So I'm going to call that day a wrap. So I hope you're having a fantastic weekend. We'll see you tomorrow.